Welcome CSE 121 W1 to EX27. We're having fun here with our Tkinter interface and using our attendees. Again, this was designed to be something very simple, and it is. We only have 2 fields and a couple buttons, yet with Tkinter to try and make an interface, there's a lot going on here. So bear with me as I go through this. We're making some functions here, and the last function we did was a clear, and actually that may work better on the add another. So I'm actually going to wipe this out here. I'll cut it, get rid of the comma, and I'll put it on the add another one. I'll put it here so that that wipes it out, and I'll put a comma here, and that way that will wipe it out when it's time to add another. And add attendee, we could even put something in there that says added. We could even insert something on the add attendee. Not only is it going to run a whole function, but we can make it say added here. So that may help. I don't know. We'll see. Because otherwise you won't really see anything until you add another. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start working on add attendee. So we'll just call it def add. I don't know. That's too many T's and D's. I'll just call it add. We'll just do add, even though I don't like doing add because it almost sounds like a built-in function. There's something going on here. And I'm getting some kind of indent thing. Let me go. If you ever get these indent things, shift tab. I don't know. Something's going on here. It's probably indents and spaces. Well, we'll fix that once we go in here and do it. So def add, thinking this should be indented here, but maybe that's because there's nothing in there yet. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to make a blank list called attendees equals, and there's going to be nothing in it. We'll start off with that. And then we'll use the same variables we already used from up here. We'll get those same ones that printed out this on the last name. Wait a minute, why wouldn't full name just be added to that? Why don't we do attendees? Now I may be wrong on this, but append, and let's append full name to that. Let's see if we could append full name to attendees. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. And then I'm going to go back here, go back to your My Warren, go to Documents and Resources, and this is the little cheat sheet part. If you go down to the resources, there's a replit that I had with append, and let's see how this works. This will open up in a whole different thing, but I'm going to just show my code, and I'll copy this code. And actually, I think I just need this code. Let me copy that with code, and we have to put import CSV. So let's go back here, and under here we'll put import CSV for that to work. In here, we're going to put this with open. Now this is going to have to get tabbed over. And we have a file called attendees.csv. So this is going to be attendees. We already have it. And A is going to be for append, and we'll just use this name file. And we're going to have to use the CSV writer method. And again, you could look up more on this, but this is basically what works. And I'm just going to put full name in here. I'll see if this works. I don't know. I did it differently last time, but I'm going to see if this puts a full name on each row. Now this may not put in a comma because maybe that's the problem, that you have to have a comma in between it, and we don't really have it set up like that. And actually something we should have in here, we should have something here that says new line equals just something like that. I think that's a way that it'll actually break it on a new line, but let's see how that works. And this is going to go on the add attendee button, this add, and then I think last time we put clear built into here, but I think we can do this, and I think this file close will go there. So let's just see what happens here. Now we have to put it on this button. So on this add attendee button, we'll do command add. So I'll go down here after the font stuff and do command equals add, and we're going to see what happens here. This might work, it might not. So like I said, I did it differently, but I always try to do things simpler first, and I think if we already have full name, why not use it? Let's put in Bob Brown insert, and that puts it there. And now I don't think this is going to put a comma, but let's add attendee. Full name is not defined. Line 15. Thought we had full name already. Oh, that's why, because if we just use full name, it's in another function. That's actually a good lesson here, that this is not available. This variable is defined within a function, so it's not available. So I guess that's why I did all that other stuff. So I tried to make it quicker here by appending that, but that's not working. So we have to do it kind of one at a time here. Let me see if we could do this. Let's see if we could do this, copy these two things. We'll get both of them and then define it in there and then append the whole thing. Let's see if that'll work. I think I appended one at a time, but let's see if we could do that. And we could even put a comma in there if we want. I think we can do actually we can do an F string, and then full name should not be undefined because it's right here and we're appending that string in there and breaking a line. So let's see what happens. Let's stop this. Let's run it. No error so far. And let's try to add Bob Brown and insert. There's his name. Now we'll add attendee. Now nothing happened, but we didn't make anything happen, and then we can add another. That should clear everything. Now let's just look at our code. And what did it do here? It didn't put a new line, and it broke it up into a separate list. That's not working, just putting full name in there. So let's wipe that out. And I guess I'll go and do it the way I did it originally, but that was okay. That was worth trying. And we're going to do attendees.append. Let me copy this. I'll append first, and then I'll append last. And I could look at that and see why that did that, but it's basically breaking apart the string. So we're going to get first and append it, and then we'll get last and append it. And let me make sure the new line is okay. I don't know if we need a space in there or not. I don't think we do. Let's see if this works. Let's see if that works better than doing the whole full name thing. Oh wait, we're still not going to write full name. This should be attendees. Bob Brown, insert, add attendee. That's fine. That's working. It's not putting a space in there, but that's okay. I'm sure there's a way we could add a space if we needed to. I don't know. I'll leave it the way it is now. Let's just run. But it's working. So this is working. So we can add another, clears it out. I mean, we could have something if you wanted to keep messing around with this. You could have something where after you add attendee, it basically displays something in here that says added. Hey, quick follow-up here. I did change the code a little bit. I just want to mention that I added these two lines to the add function, basically taking the full entry and deleting it first, 0 to end, and then inserting 0 to added, so that when you hit this, it will wipe it out and put added, not just stay the same. And the other one will still wipe everything out when you do add another. And another thing, if I want it to look nice, I could put a space, concatenate a space before the last name. So if I put in a name here, and I'll put in Lori Loker, insert, and now when I hit add attendee, it'll say added, and when I do add another, it'll wipe it out. And then when I go here, there's Lori Loker, and it looks nice with a space. However, I just want to point out that even though it looks nicer, it's probably not worth it. And you know why? Because do you know what a CSV file is? It's comma separated values. So because the comma is using it as a separator, you don't really want a space in there. It's kind of like a tab. If you think about like databases or Excel or anything like that, it'll help create cells and columns and things like that. So you probably don't want that in there. So even though it doesn't look as nice, this is probably the way you want a comma separated value file. You don't want any spaces in there just to look nice. It's not meant to look nice, it's meant to collect data. So just wanted to point that out. Just a couple things as I was messing with this, but it's working and it's making a CSV file. So that's good enough for now. So that's the end of part 5. You can stop there. When you're done, you can send me your Replit URL. And if you'd like to see a final recap of the code here, I'll go over that quick. Remember, we have our 2 imports here, our import Tkinter, we import all, and then we have import CSV, so we could use our CSV methods. We have 3 functions. Show name. Now that's a command which is attached to the insert. When we hit insert, it takes these values and it puts them over here. So it gets the value from first name entry and last name entry. It puts them together as a full name variable, and it inserts them into this field, this entry field down here. the full name entry field. So that's what insert does, and it uses the show name. Then we have clear. Now the clear function actually is on this button, so that wipes everything out at the end. So again, just to go over it, we're going to go Dirk Dillon's getting added. So we enter these, and then insert will put these values down here. That's using the show name, and there it is. And then when we hit add attendee, it's going to run this function, the add function. I'll move that up so you can see it. Actually, we'll look at the whole function here. And when we do add attendee, what happens now is it just says added. So this field, it wipes it out, it changes to added. And I actually put that down here because all this other stuff should probably go first. I guess it doesn't matter. It worked well either way, but I thought it would be better to make sure that I mention this first, because what's going to happen, other than clearing out this field and putting in added, it's going to create an attendees list, a blank attendees list with nothing in it. It's going to append the first name from here. It's going to append the last name from here, and it's going to put them in a list. Then we're going to wipe out this field here and put added, and then it's going to run this code here with CSV, and it's going to open up an attendees.csv file, and it's going to append each one as a new line. It's going to put a new line character at the end of each append. So we're going to append, and then put a new line. So it's going to go through there and append two names to the list, first and last, then it's going to put a new line, and it's going to keep doing that as it goes through and as many times as we want to run that function. So that's the add function that's happening there. And then to start over, we don't really start over, we just wipe out everything, and then you start over there, and that starts the cycle again, and then it creates our attendees list. There's Dirk Dillon added there. And again, we don't want a space in there. I mentioned that previously. So that's our functions that are here. And then if you just want to look through this, I'll just scroll through this. You could stop it if you want to look at any of this stuff just to check your code, because it's easy to miss little things in here. One little quote, one little comma, anything else. Remember, when you use function calls, you just do command equals the function, no parentheses, no semicolons, nothing like that. And then we just have our grid layout at the bottom, which is laying out everything. Now, we could go through and check out different things, but this is working for now, so that's fine. So just wanted to point that out, and that's working, so that's kind of a final overview. So if you needed to look through this code, here's your chance. Just stop the video, check out something. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I may still figure out things. I may still mess around with it a little bit more, but that's our last assignment for our semester.